Hey guys. All right, we're gonna try this. You're gonna be stuck looking at me this time instead of the record. Sorry. All right. So, should I zoom in? Let's not zoom in. What do I do with this? I don't know what to do when I'm on camera. I don't like it. Heck with it. I'm gonna talk. Okay. This is continuing with my music collection. The things we did, if you were watching the ones we did previously, I went through the 9 rows and I just kind of pulled out stuff. I thought it'd be fun at first. I didn't even plan on doing this at first. It just kind of grew. And I just pulled out stuff because it was so random while I was cleaning them. I was like, this is so weird, all this stuff I have. So it turned into that. And I organized my records and I have all the ones you've seen, which are all the stuff I have. And then I have a certain section for the stuff that was very important to me. Doesn't necessarily mean they're the greatest bands of all time, because I do have some of the greatest bands of all time that are like over here. Like, you know, Queen is down here and they're one of the greatest bands ever. But just stuff that was very, very important to me. So that's a different section that we haven't even touched on yet, so I'm going to do it right now. So that's what the next few videos will be. For today, I pulled out, I don't know how long this is going to take, and I'm going to geek out, and I'm just going to talk about, I'm going to tell stories on what these records meant to me, and probably nobody will care, but I'm a completionist, and now that I've started going through my records, I feel like I have to finish this, though it might be boring. So here we go. These are my 4 favorite bands. 4 of my favorite bands of all time, and what they have in common is they all made 2 albums and 2 albums only. So, we're going to start here. Damn Yankees. Who knows who Damn Yankees is? Most of you probably do. You guys all remember the song High Enough. Can you take me high enough? Fly me over. So, here's a story about Damn Yankees I'll tell real quickly. I've told the story before, I don't remember where. You might care, you might not. I was at home in Missouri in my basement, and we had the radio station playing, and the song Come Again came on the radio in the basement. And I don't remember what I was doing, but whatever I was doing, I just stopped. And I was like, what is this? And I listened to Come Again, which is cool. It's a great, great song. And I was too inexperienced to recognize Tommy Shaw's voice, so I didn't know it was Tommy Shaw. But it was a great, great song, and I just sat there, and I sat on the floor in the basement and went, whatever this is, I have to get it. And the whole time the song was playing, I just go, please let the DJ say who this band is when the song's over. Because again, forever ago, there's no Shazam. There's no looking it up online. There's just, hope the DJ says who that is so I can go buy that. And the song's over, and he's like, that was Damn Yankees. I was like, who the hell's Damn Yankees? And just the name of that band in my head at the time, I thought, that's probably a bunch of punks. That's probably a crappy band. But man, I like that song. So I think it was the next day. I don't really know. The next day, or a couple days after, I had my mom drive me to the record store, Street Side Record, because I was too young to drive. So it was a long time ago. And I had my dollar saved up so I could get this Damn Yankees record, whatever. I went in, asked for it, blah, blah. I came out, and I sat in the car next to Mom. She said, what'd you get? And I was embarrassed because I'm like, Damn Yankees just sounds like... I'm used to it now. We're all used to it now. But when it was new, I was like, that's probably some kind of band. So I didn't want to show it to her. I didn't want to show it to anybody. I just really loved it. And again, I bought this because one song, High Enough, had not even been released as a single yet. So there was just Come Again. That was all I knew about this. And I let my mom see. She's like, Jack Blaze is in this. She goes, Tommy Shaw's in this band. And I didn't know who Tommy Shaw was, really. So my mom was really excited, which made me feel better. And my mom took me up to get it. And I'm sure she threw in a couple bucks to let me have it. So thanks. Endlessly supportive parents, everybody. It always matters. So I got it out, took it home. So that's the story of how I discovered Damn Yankees. And then I went home and listened to this album over and over and over. Oh my gosh. Again, a long time ago when I didn't have all this and there wasn't the internet. So if you bought a new record, you just listened to this again and again and again and again and again. And I stared at it. And Jack Blaze was my songwriting hero because I loved all the Night Ranger stuff. And Night Ranger had broken up at this point. And I didn't know what Jack Blaze was doing because, again, no internet, people. So I didn't know Jack Blaze was still, there were Jack Blaze songs out there. So I was so happy. I just stared at this and read everything about it, and I couldn't stop. So that's how I discovered Damn Yankees. And then High Enough came out, and I was like, oh my God, so great. I was into like the strings and stuff at the time. So I won't really give much of a review. I mean, it is what it is, what you expect from Styx Night Ranger to put out. I love this record so much, I bought the remaster, which has like essays in it and a lot of really cool stuff. So there was this, which I love to death. Every song is cool. What's that one? Oh no, that's on this record, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I told you, I'm just going to ramble. You guys can turn off anytime. I always loved, what was it? Bad Reputation. cool riff. This whole record is good. Every one of these songs is great. And then 2 years later, they put out their second and final record, which has, I'm sorry, one of the worst album covers of any album. I mean, that's awful. What is that? It's terrible. But I remember when it came out, "Where You Going Now" was the lead-off single, probably because the ballads were the big thing at the time, and I loved it. I remember writing the lyrics to it in a notebook in high school. Like, there's a full moon in the midnight sky. I just wrote them all out. You know, there's a crack in the mirror and there's a hole in the sun. I'm like, I'm 16, thinking that's deep. Love that song. By the way, there's a Styx record they made, Cyclorama, a song called "Kiss Your Ass Goodbye," which just steals directly "Where You Going Now." The harmonies, the arrangement, the chord changes. It's the same chorus. This one I did love also, not as much as the first one, but still very, very, very good stuff. And again, almost every, I shouldn't say that, every song on here is killer. Firefly's got great harmonies. Double Coyote, I didn't really care as much, but if you listen to it now, it's just that Doors song. Double Coyote is just, oh, come on, Jason. Let it roll, baby, roll, let it roll. Whatever. I can't think of it. Why can't I think of it? Why can't I remember all this stuff and I can't remember the name of that Doors song? Whatever. That's what Double Coyote is. Whole record's cool though. So there you go. There's Damn Yankees. I could say a lot more. Just at the time, I was so excited that there was more Jack Blades out music to be heard. Very, very excited. Both these are killer. If you don't know, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. If you're a fan of this genre, you have these because they're 25 years old and essential. And there was a third one. I know there was a third one they were going to make. I got the track list somewhere on my computer. Someone leaked it. But it never happened. There you go. Okay, there's Damn Yankees. Let's move on, or else I keep talking. I'm not going to get through all four bands. I can't believe how much I'm talking. I'm sorry. Let's move on to Bad English. Bad English. Oh my gosh. To this day, I want to make these records. What am I going to say about Bad English? If you're watching this and you happen to know, I mean, if you're a big fan of Journey and you don't know Bad English for whatever reason, you have to get this because it is Journey. It's the guitar player and the keyboard player from Journey. And they just kept doing the Journey stuff with John Waite singing, who did Missing You. I'm missing you at all. You'll know this record because of When I See You Smile. When I see you smile. Like that song, that's this, which is written by Diane Warren, which is probably why I bought this. I saw Bad English. They opened up for Kiss, I think it was Kiss, on this tour, but I was too young, and I didn't have this record yet to understand who I was seeing. And I didn't know it was John Waite. I didn't know it was the two guys from Journey. I didn't know. I just thought it was a band. And I heard that song. I think I bought this because of that tour, actually, because I thought John Waite was singing, "There She Comes," or whatever. That was terrible. But I had the words wrong. But I went out and bought this because they were good live, and I liked that song a lot. And I'm telling you, I have listened to this record. I can't explain how many times I've listened to this record and what an influence this album was on me. Songwriting, singing, production. To this day, I just want to make this album. I bought it at the mall, and I loved well, I don't love every song, but most of them. Ghost in Your Heart to this day. Ghost in Your Heart. Everything about that song is amazing. The melody, the chords are so great. Everything on this is amazing. The guitar work, you know, Neil Schon is my favorite guitarist, lead guitarist ever, and John Waite can sing anything. This is a beautiful, beautiful album. And it was just part of me. It was part of my adolescence, and it's continued to be part of me. When I go home and I visit, I listen to stuff like this because it makes me feel 16, 17, and I love it. I love it. The Restless Ones I used to listen to, and I was 16, so I felt like I was them. It's really weird, but you're a kid, you know? This stuff just got inside my blood, so Forget Me Not, just killer. Everything on this record is great. I don't like Lay Down. Lay Down's the only one I don't really like, but I just absolutely adore this album. That's it. Again, if you like Journey and you don't have this, friggin' get it. And then their follow-up was every bit as good. Well, like, that was 10 out of 10. This is 9 out of 10. I remember buying this on the way. I was with my mother. We were going to visit, I think, my grandma, and we got it on the way, and there was no way to listen to it. And I remember they were visiting, and I was just sitting in the other room looking at it, reading everything, and I couldn't hear it. I'm like, I can't wait to get home and listen to this. What the hell? So I love this record also. It's just like that. Savage Blue is one of my favorite songs ever. To this day, I wanted to name a band Savage Blue just after this song. Savage Blue is so beautiful. Everything on here, every song is great. Every song is great. 1992, right? No, 91. Oh, look at that. I got one wrong. How did I get one wrong on my favorite band? But this is basically just that, and I love it all. Time Stood Still is beautiful. Time Alone with You I listened to so many times. Make Love Last. I'm just gonna list all the songs. Just get this if you don't have it. I love this one very much. They started to make a third record. There's actually a YouTube video somewhere online of the demos they did for the third record, which I'm glad I heard and kind of wish I hadn't, because the songs aren't very strong, which is probably why they didn't make a third record. Actually, they probably didn't make a third record because nobody wanted to hear this anymore. But love Bad English. To this day, I'm trying to make this record. That's what this was. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to make Bad English. And that's what I was trying to do, because this was heavily influential on my songwriting. Okay, let's move on. I just can't say enough about this. I'll just keep gushing. We're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into this place now with these, where I'm just gonna gush like a schoolgirl because of how much the music has meant to me. And we're at those bands now where I have stories and Price of Love. These are just Rockin' Horse. I love Rockin' Horse. Ride the rockin' horse. The end of Rockin' Horse, when it fades out, all these layers, the guitar part, and then oh God, Rockin' Horse is so cool. All right, moving on for you, not for me. Speaking of bands I was trying to emulate, let's move on to Storm. The Storm. I'm gonna sound just like Bad English because they're very similar to me. Two guys from Journey were in Bad English. 3 guys from Journey were in The Storm. They both put out 2 records about the same time. This has Greg Rowley, who was in the first if you count the first 3 without Steve Perry, the first 6 Journey records, and Steve Smith, the incredible drummer, one of the best drummers in the world, was in Journey, and nobody knows it because he's playing Open Arms. But so Steve Smith, Greg Rowley, and Ross Valerie are all part of this band. So again, just like that, if you love Journey and you don't know who this is, you must get it. Anybody who's watching this, comment. Side with me. Say yes. If you love Journey, you have to get The Storm. I just told the story the other day, but just in case, just to be thorough, I bought this record by mistake. I bought this album because I heard the song. Where are you? Where's it at? All right. Styx released this album, and their single was "Show Me the Way," which I loved. I was "Show Me the Way." I was like, oh, I got to get that song. And again, no internet, no Shazam. They didn't say who it was on the radio this time, so I didn't know who it was, and I didn't recognize Dennis DeYoung's voice. So I just went to the record store and looked for a new album with a song title called "Show Me the Way." And I came across this, and I go, that looks like something I'd like. I flip it on the back, "Show Me the Way." I was like, this has got to be that record. So I bought this record knowing nothing about it. Didn't know anybody from Journey was in it. Didn't know any of the songs. I thought I was buying this song, and I got this record. Went home, skipped immediately to track 6, and went, oh, this isn't that song. Oh, man. This is a good song, though. And I ended up listening to this. Total fluke. Total fluke. And just this album took over my life. This album. And again, I'm trying to make this. My album that I made, I'm just trying to be The Storm. It's all songs about love and relationships, keyboard heavy. But this I listened to over and over. I had a teacher, Miss... Fausting. She actually brought this tape in and played it just because the beginning of this record is thunder. And she played it for us as a demonstration of some kind of sound thing. But she owned this album. And I was floored. My teacher had this record. And I even went up to her at the end of the class and went, I love that Storm record. Like, it was amazing to me. I could tell stories over and over. I used to sing this record in my bedroom. And my, again, endlessly supportive parents never told me to be quiet, screaming this stuff, just because it's stupid high voice. It's ridiculous. Kevin Chaffont, I mean, it's just ridiculous. But go find, right now, YouTube The Storm, this record, and find it. Love, I did not like In the Raw. I didn't like In the Raw and Call Me. Other than that, I love all the rest. Can't Live Without Love tears me up, man. God, Touch and Go is killer. I Want You Back. To this day, I just want to write I Want You Back. It's just the greatest, most perfect, radio-friendly song with all the hooks. The guitar solo is flashy, but serves the song. The harmonies are perfect. The arrangement is perfect. You know, all these songs fade out, almost all of them. That's why all my songs fade out on my record. I just tried to make this record. By the way, if you're watching this and you liked my record, Promise, and you don't have this, just get it. Because this is Promise, but 10 times better. All right? Beautiful stuff. I don't know what else. I love it. love this record. There you go. And then they made this record, which I found online by Noodlinks, because somewhere in the like early mid 90s I started getting online, and I found this exists. I ordered it. I called a record store in Crestwood, ordered it, and they had to import it. And I was so restless, like, my God, when's the Storm record getting? And it had been out for a couple years. I had no idea it existed. And I remember it came, and I went and got it, and I was so happy that it's exactly like this. The production, the songwriting, it's just this part too. Not quite as strong, but I was worried that it was going to change direction. It wouldn't be as good, but it's just like the first one. One of my favorite songs ever that broke my heart when I was a kid, What You Doing Tonight. Look up What You Doing Tonight by The Storm. It's so beautiful. Waiting for the World to Change. I Want to Be the One. Living It Up is great. Living It Up's a cool song. Fight for Your Right. Fight for Your Right to me was like the I Want You Back of this record. Because at the end when it's like, don't stop, you can't fight it, so don't hide it, don't stop. And then it does the chorus at the end, and then those vocals come back and lay on top of it. Oh my God, I just loved it. So this was very influential. These 4 records are pretty much what I've been trying to do ever since, is just to make these records. These were huge for me. And I wanted to be in these bands. I wanted to write for these bands. That's it. I could keep going, but I'm not gonna. I didn't really like Soul of a Man. I didn't really like a couple of these, Coming Out of the Rain. So it's a little more spotty, but still wonderful, wonderful. And I wish they'd have made a million more records. There you go. There's me gushing about the Storm. And I just tell you that I listen. Bo Hill, by the way, produced and mixed by Bo Hill, who did like Warrant, Whitesnake, Rats. She's got that sound that I also was trying to emulate with the Storm. I told Ty Sims, like, I want the Storm, I want that Bo Hill feel that's very keyboard vocal heavy. So, all right, you don't care about this. There you go. All right, I have one left, one band left. I'm going to get a little pushback on this being a 2-album band, but I will explain myself. And this is what, sorry, Brian, this is one of the greatest bands you've never heard of. And before I show it to you, I'm going to say, if you're a fan of, God, Van Hagar, if you're a fan of, I guess, Europe, if you're a fan of just like the guitar, the really hard rock guitar stuff with the great production and the huge vocals, here it is. Ready? Giant. Oh my God, I love Giant. Holy crap. Giant's one of the greatest bands of the genre that no one ever heard of. They got caught at the tail end of that kind of music, and they had a couple hits, but Giant. So I heard the song "I'll See You in My Dreams." That was their single, because everybody puts out the ballad, "I'll see you in my dreams." And I remember I was on the way to play a Little League game. I guess it wasn't Little League when I was 14, but maybe it was. Whatever. Baseball game. And that was on the radio. And on the way to the game. And I remember the whole game, I'm sitting there going, oh my God, that song. I'm 14, 15, going, that song, I got to have that song. And I just rushed right out and bought this. And The Last of the Runaways, what a great title. So here's the interesting thing about this record. This record taught me many, many things. So I got this for I'll See You in My Dreams. That's why I bought this record. And I listened to it over and over. And I went to the front and I listened to the whole thing. And I remember at the time, and I can't explain this today, but at the time, I was like, oh, this isn't very, it didn't grab me. It didn't get inside me. It did not do much for me. I don't know how that's possible because of how much I love every song on here now. But the first time I listened to it, I just went, oh, I don't really like that. Shape Me Up, Rate Me Up, well, what is that? So I just kind of put it to bed, and I was like, oh, well, I got that song. I love that song. And then 2 years later, and I remember where I was, sitting in my buddy Mike's car in the summer, Chained. The song called Chained was on the radio, and I went, that's that guy from Giant. That's his voice. I recognize his voice. And this record came out. This album, I should have got it before I started filming this. I have a license plate somewhere that says Time to Burn. This album took over my life for 3 or 4 months. I went and got this because of Chained, and I'm telling you, every song. This is one of the greatest records ever made of that kind of guitar, big vocal kind of stuff. And I just poured over it and poured over it. You know, I mean, the case is broken, worn. The booklet is all frayed and got fingerprints all over it because I loved it. I stared at all these. It drove me crazy that the pictures of these guys on both the records wouldn't tell me who was who. I didn't know who the singer was. I didn't know who. So I would so forever I thought I don't know, I thought that was the singer. And who cares? I know most people don't care about these things, but I did. And I just stared at the. Also, if you got my first record, by the way, if you got my first album, my first record, what's it called, Jason? Stolen Season. I stole the layout of how they had all these pictures of the people interspersed with the lyrics. That's what I did on Stolen Season. This record, I'd look up I'll Be There When It's Over. I'll Be There When It's Over should have been a universal hit. People everywhere should have heard I'll Be There When It's Over. Just, I don't know what to tell you. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I love this record so much. If you're watching this and you're on the fence, just private message me. I will buy you one and send it to your house on Amazon. Okay? You have to hear this. That's how good it is. Love this record. And so then I went back and I was like, well, I love this one so much. How did I not like this one? So I went back and listened to it and I went, what the hell's wrong with me? I was like, this is wonderful. And then I felt the same way about both these. Every song, there's not one song on either one of these records I do not like. Nope, love them all. Some are better than others. Chained to this day, Chained by Giant just makes me go cross-eyed with just love. Oh my God, love it. But Lay It on the Line, and again, another band that I sang. I mean, I can't sing like this, but I tried to sing in my bedroom over and over and over again. This crazy high shit. I just put the record on, let it play, and scream in my bedroom while my parents tried to watch TV, and they never, ever, over the years, ever told me to be quiet. Never. They just was like, you sound good. And I didn't. But they said you sound good. So there you go. So here's where I run into a little bit of pushback maybe from the purists. There's this. This exists, all right? Here's my issue with this. It's not a real record. It's not a legitimate album. This is a bunch of B-sides and songs that did not make this record. Because you know that when bands record records, sometimes they record 20 songs and pick the best 10, and then they don't use the other ones. So this is basically a collection of songs that didn't make their legitimate albums. So the first thing is instrumental. So to me, that doesn't really count. The last record is a live cover. So this is basically 8 songs. It's cheaply made, so it's not a legitimate album to me. So when I say Giant only had 2 records, I can't count this because it's kind of like a compilation of just unused stuff. They didn't go in the studio and write a record. That being said, and I didn't really like most of it, to be honest. You Will Be Mine is awesome. And what's the other? Can't Let Go. Can't Let Go is one of the most beautiful ballads. Can't Let Go is just amazing. They probably just couldn't put it on here because there was already so many ballads on here, but that's beautiful. Other than that, you can kind of skip this, in my opinion. But they do have this, and they did make a record called Promised Land. I want to acknowledge Promised Land. But if Dan Huff is not singing, it ain't Giant. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. It's just like, it's not the guitar player, it's not the singer, it's not the main songwriter. It's not Giant to me. So I'm sure I don't even have that record. I need to get it. I will get it. I'm not trying to boycott it. It just doesn't feel like Giant. If Dan Huff ain't part of it, it ain't Giant. So listen. There you go. These 8 records. Did I geek out enough? Did I? I think I did. Just go listen to a couple of Giant songs. Do it. I love it. I love these albums so much. All these. And I'm really repeating myself, and I realize that, but you got to understand, music is the most important thing to me. And these few albums got inside of me when I was a teenager, and they never got out. And I just try to that's what I want to do. This is the kind of records I wanted to make. So, there you go. Those are 4 bands that mean very much to me. There's many left, and most of them I'll have to talk about more because there's just more records. But I thought these would be quick and I could get through them. I don't know what I'm going to do next. But there you go. Listen, thank you guys for watching. I know this is just one guy just kind of navel-gazing a lot, and I don't know how much this is interesting to anybody. I try to make it entertaining. But there you go. There you go. More coming. If I'm going to give you some suggestions just to look up, to try it out, look up I'll Be There When It's Over by Giant. Lay It on the Line. I'll See You in My Dreams. Hold Back the Night. Those would be some really great places to start for Giant. For The Storm, I Got a Lot to Learn About Love. Show Me the Way. I Want You Back. Can't Live Without Love. What You Doing Tonight. Look up those. Wonderful. Bad English. Look up Forget Me Not. Everybody know Possession is beautiful. Ghost in Your Heart. Rockin' Horse. Savage Blue. Make Love Last. And there you go. I don't know. Damn Yankees. Bad Reputation. Come Again. Just look up Come Again. If you get nothing else out of this entire video, go listen to Come Again if you've never heard it. All right. I'm going to shut up. Thank you all very much for watching. I know I'm just basically entertaining myself, but that's all. Once again, if you like those bands, The Storm and Bad English, that's my record. I tried to be them. That's what I try to do. So at least go take a little listen to a couple of the songs. You might like it. That's it. Thank you all so much. Bye, everybody.